None of the barbarity of the Lamanites, Nephites, and Jaredites should be surprising. When Satan has full power over the hearts of men, they become like him, hard of heart, blind in mind, full of anger, a thirst for blood and revenge, and a lust for power and control. As King Benjamin taught his people, those who rebel against God obey the evil spirit Satan, and like him, become enemies of all righteousness. Now, we've discussed this issue before in terms of consciousness, or the light of Christ. As the world falls more and more under the influence and power of Satan, its inhabitants succumb to groupthink and mob mentality. This form of mass psychosis, crazy mad as John Taylor called it, has already taken root and will eventually engulf the world. It is and will be characterized by rage. The filled effects of consciousness and the light of Christ can be altered or constricted through the misuse of moral agency. That is, the three primary filled effects of consciousness and the light of Christ become something entirely different. The filled effect of the fullness of mind, characterized by unity, attained by the righteous, becomes the groupthink or mob mentality of the wicked, characterized by conformity. These mass psychoses have already taken root in the United States, primarily on the left, where politicians parrot themselves and activists are consumed by rage. More broadly speaking, the world is quickly becoming enveloped in rage, characterized by unrestrained violence, terrorism, civil war, and jihad. The continual round of murder and bloodshed that ended the Nephite civilization provides a preview of what we can expect in the wars described in Section 87. The wars will begin as organized warfare and then devolve into crazed and unrestrained bloodshed. Due to the wickedness and corruption of our generation, we will be visited with anguish, wrath, tribulation, and utter desolation. So Joseph Smith prophesied. After the wars have spread throughout the world, slaves will rise up against their masters. This rebellion is separate from the ongoing warfare. As we have mentioned, the Church believes this to be a reference to the American Civil War and the issue of institutional slavery in the South. Joseph Smith assumed that the war would arise through this question. However, the Southern institution of slavery has been abolished and therefore cannot be what the Revelation is referring to. The Lord is describing a different form of slavery, with different slaves and different masters. The question, then, is, who will these slaves be and who will be their masters? Slavery, generally speaking, has been defined as the ownership of one person by another. The slaves are considered property of the master. Now, this was true of the Southern institution of slavery, where Africans and African Americans were treated as chattel, or property. But this type of slavery, called traditional slavery, does not include all forms of slavery, either historically or in our modern world. For example, traditional slavery would not include the Soviet Gulag system of imprisoning political opponents in forced labor camps. Nor does it account for the rampant human trafficking in our day. A broader definition is required for the interpretation of Section 87.